Good morning, everybody, and a happy Tuesday morning to you. I hope everybody's week is going well. As usual, we have some, Mr. Hunky Dunky is out again. So we have some royal family stuff, and of course, we have our Harry Meghan stuff. So let's just jump in and get busy, shall we? Let's go. Let's start off with William, Mr. Hunky Dunky. He went to visit a mental health charity in London. That took place on March 6th. He was at Mental Health Innovations in White City. This charity was established in 2017 by the Royal Foundation of William and Catherine. And we know they're strong advocates for mental health and well-being, and the foundation supports several causes. And of course, he showed off his tech skills because he fired up a laptop and was gesturing around, because this visit was to mark a merger between MHI and Digital Services The Mix, which is a digital service that helps young people develop life skills and connections. Remember, they launched Shout, which is a 24/7 free text messaging support service. I remember that. It was launched in 2019. And this comes to show that there have now been 3 million conversations with those in need of support. How fabulous is that? So during his visit, William spoke with members of the Mental Health Innovation Youth Advisory Board, which is made up of youth volunteers providing services through both the Mix and Shout. Now, as he was leaving, some guy yells out, William, I have flowers for Catherine. So, of course, William, that's all he needed to hear. He went right over. The guy's name was John Lowry. He had a bouquet of flowers and a letter for Catherine, and also showed that he had a ticket that shows he will be attending the Commonwealth Day service. Remember, before somebody else was claiming mental health, it was William and Catherine who were at the forefront of that. I just think that he needed something to do, so he stole William and Catherine's idea. All right, let's move on. Let's move on to Princess Beatrice, who had her first public appearance since she's given birth. She was out at the V&A in London at the Born Wonderland Gala to mark the royals' newly announced patronage for the Prematurity Research Charity, which of course is to research advanced knowledge of pregnancy and childbirth. And the interesting thing is, we know that she had Athena, her second daughter, and Athena was born early. She was pictured with Professor Mark Johnson, who is the founder of Born, and also with Mr. David Badcock, who is the CEO of that company. I think she looks lovely, and I'm happy to see her out. Let's move on now to Princess Anne, who is the patron of the Maritime Society and Sea Cadets and Admiral of the Sea Cadet Corps. She held a reception at Buckingham Palace a few days ago. Also on March 5th or 6th, Anne, as the patron of the Maritime UK, she chaired a National Council meeting at the offices of Gallagher. I love this outfit she's wearing. Gosh, I love her. We've seen this outfit also multiple times, the blue with the big red buttons. All right. Now, also, it was either the 5th or the 6th, she gave remarks at the National Equine Forum. No wonder they call her the hardest working royal. All right, you guys, let's move on. Now, I've told you guys already that Meghan's show the whole thing was just very fake and contrived. You can't fool people that are watching. And there's calls for it to be axed. I can assure you, as I've told you before, this show will not be renewed. They will not get another contract. This is a fail. What Meghan needs, though, is just to get the as ever going. That's what she needs. And I already told you that her rankings are really bad. Rotten Tomatoes score, the IDM, it's an absolute fail because it's a repetitive thing with this show. Now, we all know she's been demanding to be called Sussex. Well, the people of Sussex were asked what they thought about this whole thing. She's only been to Sussex once for approximately 6 hours, and people were hitting it out of the park with their comments. And the people there are saying she has to earn the right to use that name. She needs to do something worthwhile in Sussex. She should become a patron of a children's charity there or get involved in a good cause. Simply adopting Sussex as your surname to use for your own ends, they said, is cynical. It's preposterous. She's never even spent a night in Sussex. Surely she can't be serious. And somebody else pointed out that technically she's not Sussex, as she married into the House of Windsor, but her response is just so Hollywood. She appears to live in quite a strange la-la world. But the one comment that really got me is the one that said, I think when they decided to step away from the royal family, everything should have been stripped from them, and it would have prevented this kind of confusion. She's using the royal connection to be paid millions by Netflix, which we don't agree with. Spot on. All right, let's move on now. Just a reminder to you guys, King Charles is selling jam and jelly and stuff under his Highgrove brand, which he started in 1990. It's to promote organic farming and sustainable agricultural practices. Everything is organic. Products are often sourced from Highgrove, which we know is the private estate. The brand recently partnered with Waitrose, which is a British supermarket chain, and he's helped raise significant funds for charity, with millions of pounds donated to the King's charities over the years. So the profits from Highgrove sales go to charity. Remember, Meghan's stuff, we don't know where it's being sourced. It could be coming from China for all we know. And every penny goes in her pocket. Nothing goes to charity. Just remember that before you order anything. Now, a couple of other small things before we get into the review. For those of you who don't know, when Meghan was on the Drew Barrymore show, she claimed that when she was younger, she was a nanny for some children. Who else do we know was a nanny for children? I'm sorry. I believe that's another Diana Coldplay. I did the same thing as Diana. That's just my personal opinion, but that's, what I think. Too much with the lies. I'm sorry. We also know that she talked about, let's be present. Remember, she was reading things for Archie because she wanted to be present. Well, here's a list of people that she's been present for. Not. And a big thank you to Princess Devastellar for this. All right, let's jump into our review. All right, I'm not going to lie. This was another really boring one. So, of course, she's pouring coffee and she decides she's going to make herself some breakfast. And she does something really great. She takes bread that somebody else made, cuts it, drizzles some olive oil on it, mashes an avocado on it, squeezes a lemon on top of it. Then she fries an egg. And she says, oh, food is my love language. Didn't we hear that before in a previous episode? And while all this is going on, she's talking about how her girls are coming over and they're having game night. And of course, the music is playing, blah, blah, blah. And for those of you that are wondering, yes, she puts the dead flowers on top of this breakfast thing as well. That's just her thing, to throw flowers on top of it. Then she says to the guy, Michael, who's behind the scenes, I'm going to make you breakfast. And she cuts some more bread. She fries another egg. She makes some bacon, and then the guy eats the breakfast. There you go. The only thing better than eating food is making it for somebody else and watching them eat it with delight. Oh, so she cleans up, and then the next thing you see, she comes walking in with flowers. Here we go. You can add flowers. These are just carnations. You can get them at the grocery store. And she's making another floral put together, just like she did the other day. This whole thing feels very boring and repetitive at this point. She actually says, oh, we're elevating the flowers. Well, then she talks about game night and mahjong, and it's creating, say it with me, community. What I love about mahjong is you learn something new together, and you realize that it's that feeling of community, and it's special, and it's the expansion of our friendship. Okay, then boom. She's inside and she's cutting up plantains and telling everybody how you cut them small, put them on a tray, and bake them so that you have an healthier option for chips. Of course, she's drizzling olive oil all over everything. And once again, I can't help but notice that she's wearing her 2-carat diamond pinky ring that she's showing off. So the next thing you know, bam, she's back in the kitchen with this chef. Now, he puts out his hand to shake her hand, and she instead grabs onto him and hugs him. It becomes very obvious very quickly that he is most uncomfortable with this. So she makes him a coffee and says, I don't know if you understand my love of the Mexican cuisine, how you've elevated it. We know she loves that word, but still the real depth of flavor. And the next thing you know, the same thing is happening that happens in every other episode. He's cooking. By the way, she's throwing out a few words in Spanish. He's cooking. There's no, we're going to use this much of this or this much of that. And basically they're just putting stuff together and you have no clue what they're doing. Now she tells him, I'm having friends over and I want to do a taco bar, but how do I elevate the flavors? So once again, with her favorite buzzword, and she goes, I wondered who's local that can help me. So yeah, I'm thrilled you're here. Let's jump in. And I'm like, the reason that he's there is because you couldn't get the big name people. I appreciate this guy. He seems like a great guy, but yeah. So once again, I saw nobody wash their hands. She's dripping in diamonds and gold. Her hair is hanging down. I don't know why she doesn't pull her hair back when she's cooking, but I personally find it kind of disgusting that her hair is stringing down in the front while she's cooking food. That's, just me. So the next thing you know, it pops out of this scene and all of a sudden she's cutting fruit in the garden because she's going to show us how to dehydrate citrus. So what she does is she basically goes, look at these beautiful oranges. Look at these beautiful lemons. Look at these beautiful this. We have all these fruit trees. We donate our fruit to the, food shelter. And basically what she does is she cuts them, puts them on racks, and sticks them in a food dehydrator, which is just like the one she says that her mother gave her for Christmas. And that's what boom, she's done. Like, I didn't need her to explain to me how to do that. And boom, she's back in the kitchen with this guy and they're making something else because, again, she's having friends over. Now, the first friend that shows up for her after this guy is done cooking all the amazing food, because let's face it, he cooked the food and she's taking credit for it. Oh, one more thing before I tell you this. Yes, as soon as the food was done, she threw freaking flowers on it. That's all she does. So anyway, her friend Tracy Robin shows up and almost immediately, and in case you guys don't recognize her, she's the Paramount CEO's wife, and she's the one that was in Jamaica at the Bob Marley thing with them. And the first thing they do is alcohol. They break out the alcohol and they're making different margaritas for their friends. And of course, Meghan has to put her funky, loopy name on a tag so that everybody knows which margarita is theirs because everybody likes their stuff a little bit different. And then, as of course she's showing off the food, like I said, her friend Victoria Jackson shows up. Now, for those of you who don't know who she is the one who came up with the no makeup aesthetic, and she made millions. And after her came Jennifer Rudolph Walsh, who is a board member of WME and also owns that bookstore that you saw Harry and Meghan at when the bookstore opened. So these are her friends. So she shows all the food and then they go outside and that's when the assignment starts. You made those flowers? Oh my God, they're so pretty. Oh, homemade plantains? Wow. Now, of course, somebody else cooked this, but they're looking at Meghan going, we love your sriracha and your chili. You cook this so well. It could be the busiest day in the world. And Meghan's worried about every single person's preferences and their dietary needs. You guys get the point? It's all about Meghan and how wonderful Meghan is and Meghan this and Meghan that, just like the other girls. You have to praise her liberally if you want to spend time in her hand. So then they start to play mahjong. There was also a whole big conversation on who had nicer mahjong tiles, whose set they were going to use. This was the most superficial crap, and I really feel like I'm losing brain cells. All right, guys, we only have 2 more episodes to cover, but oh my God. All right. I'm just glad the royal family's out and about and there's other stuff going on. So don't forget about my cooking channel. I'm putting up recipes every other day. You don't want to miss them. I'm doing the opposite of Meghan. I'm wearing a bathrobe, hair up, glasses on, no makeup, no jewelry. You don't want to miss my stuff. The link for that is down in the description box, along with the link to my Twitter, my Gettr, my Rumble, my email, my Amazon wish list, a link to my father's book, which is still up for sale. For those of you who've donated to my coffee fund, thank you so much. And as always, you guys, have a great day.